Huh.
Hey, this is Dane at Jonah Guitar, and I'm been working on a little project in the shop, and gosh, to tell you the truth, I don't know if I have done any video on this or not yet. It's a deadhead sander, and I've only recently been made aware that these things even existed, and I think they're a great idea. I became aware of it. Well, initially I'd seen old videos of this sort of thing, like in really massive production factories like Gibson. Not something similar at the Fender factory, but not just like a deadhead sander. More of just a big roll, big round roller sandpaper thing at Fender. But so a deadhead sander, and I'll readjust the camera. Oh, where did I see? I saw it at Matt's Texas Toast Guitars. I shouldn't say Matt's because there's other guys involved, but Texas Toast Guitars, and Matt was using it, and they had an old sander that they kind of turned into a deadhead sander of sorts. It's supposed to have an extra roller or something to be an official deadhead roller. So this isn't either really, because it's just the original rollers. I'll show it to you here. I'll bring you in close and explain why it's handy and exactly how I'm doing it and going about doing it. So I'm going to move things around. I'll bring you right back. All right, not sure how good a shot this is. I have a lot of this it's clear pine, kind of like a sugar pine. It's pretty soft stuff. I have a bunch of it, so I just decided to make the block for this out of that. Now I'm going to basically take it apart so you can see what's going on here. This is the Grizzly sander, 6x80 Grizzly sander, which is just an edge sander. And I initially bought it. I had a cabinet shop, and I would do that sort of thing then. But it's the same sander that they use when you buy their fretboard radiusing jig. I made a fretboard radiusing jig of my own, and it involves. I'm gonna move this out of the way. It involves laying this down and then bolting the jig to this table. And I kind of made one out of angle metal and stuff. It's just not solid enough, so I'm not that happy with it. And I might go ahead and try to, reinvent it. If I were to do a bunch of fretboards at one time, that would be very handy. But this sander set up like this, I think, is just going to be a lot handier, regardless of whether I'm actually sanding next with it or anything. That needs to be just a quick trip over to the sander and just clean it up a bit. So what I did is I glued a couple blocks together. You can see here that they're not exactly even on the back. I glued the first one, or I cut the first one out, and I thought it might be just a little short. So when I did the second one, I made it a little thicker so that it pushes it out farther. And I'm gonna use the joiner and plane that down until it's where I need it thickness wise. But I bought the graphite for this. Now, who did I get this from? Oh, I got this from Woodworker Supply, and I was able to buy it by the yard. So I bought a couple 1 yard pieces of 6-inch graphite. This is going to be a nightmare. It has a whole bag full of this graphite dust crap, and I'm not looking forward to having that everywhere in the shop. Now what they did, though, if you look at this, is they folded it. Man, I hate buying things that are supposed to be flat and then having them creased when they get here. Checking this. This is just a fuzz over 6 inches, 6 1/8 approximately. And There's supposed to be 2 pieces in here, so I'm going to open this up and then, oh, can you see the magic dust? Is it filtering out? I don't know if you can see it or not with the way the light's hitting. It's just, I hate glitter. I only got 1 piece. I might have to check that. I thought I ordered 2, but maybe I only ordered 1. Okay. And I didn't remember if it was glued or not, so, oh, I remember what it was. I only needed 18 inches and I got a foot, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut it in half and then I'll have 2 pieces. That's what I was thinking too. So, you know what? I'm going to go lay this down somewhere flat and just razor blade this thing in half. And then I will get some glue and glue it down to the face of this block. I'm also thinking right now what would be the best. It's kind of a canvas back. I think I'm going to see if I have any contact cement in here. If I do, I'll use that. But if I don't, I think I'm just going to use white glue. So it's graphite-y and slick. And I'm hoping that hand cleaner will get this off. Anyway, I ended up using spray adhesive, and I've got it sitting upside down on the flat table, and I'm going to put some clamps on it, and then I'm also going to see about getting the corners. They're a little puckered at the moment. So, all right, so I've got that thing clamped down to the flat bench. What do you want to call it? Sander table. And actually, as the spray adhesive has dried, I've just come in here and pushed up on the there was a little bubble, which probably wouldn't have affected me anyway, as long as it's tight around the corner. But I just wanted to make sure that it was snug around that radius. And it feels like everything's pushing up and staying, glued down there. So that's good. If that becomes a problem, I can actually just staple it down around the ends because it's not really going to come in contact with the belt there. Yeah, this one feels good as well. Alright, we're just putting this belt back on. You see the graphite flatten up. I felt a little hollow. Thought that was sticking down there. A little bit right there. I'm going to put the belt on and tension it and see if that helps hold things down. I'll just leave it. If I get, I thought it was dry, so. Could be a little bit too tight. So I might have to take the back of that off a little bit. Pretty good. Got to kind of determine where this block is going to end up at and get some holes drilled and hold it in place. The back edge of the sanding, this little dust collector chute, is hitting the paper, I think. Yeah, this wants to move around. I think right there is going to be good. This is good for these corners. So I'm going to have to bend this out a little bit here to keep the belt from rubbing on that, and that'll happen later. I'm going to go ahead and just leave it under tension here with this on it, and that should hold it all together pretty well. Anyway, that's it for now on this.